Okay, hello guys. My name is Chris EKHATOR, and you're welcome to a special edition of the Real Talks Nigeria. Quickly, let me go through what I would describe as the attributes of God. The attributes, all right, the attributes of God. All right. So now I was going through Genesis chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3, and I came across several things or several verbs, words that I discovered could describe the attributes of God. Now, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, I saw that God, all right, created. God created. So that can be described as the very first attribute of God. Now, if you move towards Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, you see another attribute of God or the Spirit of God, and that was God moved. God moved. So God created, God moved. God can create, and God can equally move. Another attribute of God that spread almost throughout the Bible is God said. So in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, God created. All right. Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, God moved. The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And then God said. And then in Genesis chapter 1, verse 4, we have another attribute of God that God saw. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 4, we have another attribute of God which said, God divided. So then the last one we'd like to look at today is God called. Okay, so God created, God moved, God said, and God saw. So this is Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, and then this is Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 3. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 4. And then God divided, Genesis chapter 1, verse 4. And then God called, Genesis chapter 1, verse 5. So these are what I describe as the basic, primarily attributes of God. God created, God moved, God said, God saw, God divided, God called. The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw, God saw that the light was good. God saw, God said, God divided, and God called the light day, and God called the darkness, God called it night. So if you go through these various attributes of God, it clearly shows that God is highly intelligent. God created, all right? God created the heaven and the earth. The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. God said, let there be light. God saw the light, that the light was good. And then God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day. So these various attributes of God, we equally have them, meaning that we can create things like this video is created. We can move, our spirit can move. We can equally say things, and then the things we say, we can see them, and then we can divide, and then we can equally call things, by whatever name we intend them to be. So as you go about your day, as you go about your life, make sure you are creative, make sure you move, make sure you say things, make sure the things you say come to pass, divide things, and then call things by whatever names you intend to call them. So I hope you have learned something from today's rundown through the attributes of God. You can create, you can move, You can say things, you can see what you say, you can divide whatever it is that you want, and then you can equally call things by whatever names you intend to call them. My name is EKHATOR Christian Osaze. Thank you for today's edition of the Real Talks Nigeria. Until we come your way again, continue to enjoy the attributes of God. God bless you. Bye.